Hundreds of stakeholders in the property industry gathered in Cape Town this past weekend to discuss challenges and opportunities in this multi-trillion rands business. While expectations were that the Western Cape's growth will be hampered by drought, experts say the situation was not as bad as it was initially anticipated.
So what we've done is we've looked at the sales from January this year and compared it to previous Januaries, because I think January this year was quite a month where people were very worried about day zero. And what we found is that activity actually picked up. So the drought, while it had people worried, didn't really have an impact on the property market. And I think it's because people see property as a longer-term investment, and they see this as a short-term problem that can be solved.
De Kock says the industry is still contributing phenomenally to the country's GDP and job creation. Others say the current political and economic conditions are even more conducive to further growth.
Well, obviously with the recent rate cut of 25 basis points, that's obviously making it cheaper for everyone. We've seen the banks are partners with our portal, so we are partnered with them as well as real estate. So we get a very nice, clear view of what's actually happening out there, and we're seeing an appetite from the banks. They seem to be working really proactively to try and get bonds to the people that are trying to get houses approved. And along with the banks, the mortgage originators, particularly Uber and Better Life, they're working really, really hard to try and get the right bonds for people at the moment. And we're seeing a greater success rate across the board. It's very exciting because in the last 2 years it's been a bit slower, but I think there's a sentiment that things are getting a lot better. People are a lot more excited about getting into property and realizing their property dreams.
Property buyers shows and seminars such as this one are now attracting investors, property developers and real estate agents from as far as Europe, the Middle East and from throughout the continent.
Yeah, I think there's always interest, whether it's the aspirational element of owning your first home or the sort of, the investment interest of having a portfolio of properties which can supplement your income or one day be a retirement or your child's inheritance. And that's one of the core reasons why the show is successful. Is people are always interested in it. It's always a good time to buy. If the market's down, then we'll hope that it will come back up. Whereas if the market is up, obviously there's good rental returns to turn in from that. So we're happy about the current situation, and our visitors are obviously keen to learn more.
The Western Cape, besides its water shortage problems, remains attractive to potential buyers. Recently, they spent close to R1 billion on the suburban properties in Cape Town's sought-after Atlantic seaboard. The event has become so popular that the organizers have decided to make it an annual event. Manelisi Tubase, SABC News, Cape Town.